Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. I hope you guys stayed with us all the way. Sorry for the delays, but we are finally in our grand finals between QOS family and Tanwanga. Hopefully I pronounced that right. I don't want to make that wrong. But yeah, we are gonna be seeing QOS family on the blue side. And looks like they're gonna be banning out the Vera as well as the Trixie.
To pick.
And really quick draft over here. Coming up from both ends as well. So remember, the grand finals is gonna be a BO5. That's right, a BO5. It's not been an easy day for either of these teams, but finally we are here at the grand finals. And whoever wins this is gonna be the champions of the Vietnamese qualifiers.
To pick.
It looks like we're gonna see a Violet as well as a Teamy getting picked up on the TLG side. We're gonna see a bottom getting picked up with QS, so they want to lock down the bottom. Obviously, something to actually succumb them to the front. Really good front liner. We discussed about him a lot as well. Obviously, having a Violet and Teamy, which means that you kind of need someone that can dive from the back. Just to try to get onto the Violet, because she's definitely gonna be staying really far away. She's one of those MMs with really high high burst as well as high range, something similar to other MMs, like we compare them to a Joker, you compare them to the Elsu. So all of these heroes have a lot of long range, and Violet is kind of similar to it. So you need a hero like either Ras or Quick Knock, or maybe even a Murad to actually just dive the backline and be able to catch out this hero. So we're gonna have an Astrid getting picked up by how long ago, something to actually deal with both the bottom and maybe even the Hayate. And it looks like we're gonna see Sing and Astrid getting picked up, like I mentioned. We're gonna see now it's gonna be we're going to the second phase of the ban. So we're gonna see TLG ban out 1, then Kills coming to ban out 1 as well, or 2. Crixie getting ban out. I think Crixie ban out was not too bad. You kind of take out the meta mage straight away. Obviously, QOS family haven't really reviewed the mage that they want to pick.
Red team's turn to ban.
So that's a really good ban coming out from QOS family. Obviously, the Rise is going to be really irritating to deal with, especially against the Quick. Now, we saw that happen firsthand during the matchup against QOS family and Pixies, where Raz was just constantly pushing away the Krigna, and it was just impossible for the Krigna to even reach the backline. So they picked up the Rise by themselves to actually deal with the Krigna. So this time around they're going to be banning out the Rise just to make sure that doesn't happen. Alright, it looks like we're gonna be seeing an Omen band. So I kind of figure out why they use the Omen. I mean, end of the day, he's still really good. You know, really tanky, being able to soak up damage. You also have a really good CC. And in general, it's just, you don't really want to deal with Omen at all, because of, look at the heroes. They have an Astrid, they have and they picked up the Lelana as well, so that kind of sets up for, they don't want to deal with heroes that are able to lock down both the Lelana as Astrid, heroes that need to go really close and melee range. Lelana is a mage, but if you look at the range of the damage, it's really short, right? She's like a melee mage per se. And then we're gonna see QS family band of the Alistair, someone that can do really well with Krigna as well. So they're removing a lot of these heroes that can jump to the back line, try to catch up, or not jump to the back line, but heroes that can stop their heroes from jumping to the back line. And they pick up a Tulan Emily, so a lot of burst damage on the side of QS family. And I'm liking what I'm seeing. I think it's quite wholesome, Tulan to actually just stay behind and use the Thunderbird to actually just try to snap off heroes. Maybe something like a Liana, something that he's the kind of hero that can still walk backwards and shoot forward because of skills. And for those who are wondering, yes, I am talking about the Ion Blast, and he also has the Lightning Strike. So a lot of I would say AoE damage without having to put himself too far forward. So I do like this coming up from the side of QS family. Whereas Tanlonga, now they have to find an answer to that Tulan. They don't have someone that can really close down the Tulan just yet. I mean, both Raz and Krignak, or both Raz and Alistair have been banned out, so they just kind of need to do the Krignak as well. Arthur would do the job, although we might not see an Arthur here. So it looks like it's gonna be an Irie. So I think Irie works well as well. Irie does have her ultimate to actually just try to stop them from trying to jump in. And not only that, she has decent wave clear. So she probably just try to use a spin or maybe even a Ryu to actually just go in, try to stop either one. I mean, she can even afford to just sit on top of the opponents if she wants to. So she can kind of just sit on top of the Violet, maybe on top of the Emily if she wants to. But that I don't think that's how they play it. I think how they want to have Irie play is to just go in, kind of initiate, especially for the rest of the teams, and then try to get the Astrid to front line and do that raw damage at the front. So I'm not too sure how they're gonna do the Krignak. Yes, they have a couple of stuns. They have the team as well to try to keep the Violet alive, but we'll have to see how it plays. Alright, so about that, we should be back and running. So a really passive gameplay, but looks like we're seeing a little bit of an invade coming up from TLG. And they might be able to slew the Might Golem as well, and that is a good invasion to TLG. Going for the engage right here, Quick Knock trying to find a way to pick onto the backline, but Tula will be the first one to go down. That is the first blood. And they do pick up the bottom as well, 3-0. Really aggressive play coming in, you know, managing to not only the buff, but pick up the Quick Knock as well. That is going to slow the momentum by so much for Quick Knock, who has yet to hit that level 4, that vital level 4. I might see a gank coming up. Does fail to hit the Irie. Does really well as well. And that's the thing about having an Irie in your team, right? Is that she's really high, she's really mobile. She can kind of use not only the Ryu to stun, but also the Shadow to actually just dodge that gank, which we kind of saw it happen in the top lane. So it's not gonna be an easy task for this Quick Knock to actually try to catch on them, even with the Swamp. So we do see Elena trying to stop that rotation coming up. It looks like they really want this bottom right now, dropping really low, and the final blast coming up from Violet as well. They do get stunned. Another lockdown coming in, and no way out. One more shot should do the trick. There we go. The double kill coming up from the Violet. They might find even more. Tulan with the wrong rotation down to bottom, and that with the ultimate. And it's not even the Annette, it's the Astrid that actually gets it. There is no Annette here.
A blue team tower has been destroyed.
And they get the tier 1 tower down in the bot lane. And that's gonna be the push as well. Mini now low in HP, has to go right back. Those shots coming to Violet are starting to hurt. Currently TLG definitely leading way ahead, 6-0 with a 3k goal lead. And looks like they want to go for more teaming. Gonna be scanning out the opponent's jungle for now. In the meantime, the only thing that Annie can really do, or the Mini can really do, is try to push out the bottom wave. She can't extend too far though, because the rest of the teammates are not there. Or we do see a Quick Knock spotting out an Astrid. Meanwhile, in the jungle, Quick Knock dropping really low. Astrid nearly managed to use the ulti to pick him up right there. Has to switch targets, going down to the bottom. And looks like they will settle for taking away the Might Golem. Meanwhile, top lane, she's still all by herself. It looks like TLG really want this. Are we gonna be initiating with the Shadow? Tries to go in and try to pick up the tier 1 tower. They will be able to do it. Meanwhile, the rest of the teammates still trying to go for the jump. Astrid on the back line. That speed should be able to do the job. Yes, it does. They will pick up one more kill, and they will also pick up a tier 2 tower down in the mid lane. However, they might have just overstayed. Do you see the Quick Knock coming in? But Violet has just so much burst. And they do manage to make it out alive. Meanwhile, Violet getting caught down the middle, but Team with the quick rotation had to use Spoon as well. Tried to go in his turn all by himself, so he can have all the damage. But here comes Astrid, and here comes the burst. Irie comes with the Ryu, gets a 4-man stun, and it might just be enough. They pick up 1, they pick up 2, and they might be able to find more. But they are not a greedy bunch, and they will stick to objective game. 10-1. And Krignut has to settle for split pushing. They will get the tier 1 tower in the bot lane. But it looks like TLG are more than happy to actually just go to top side, try to get the tier 1 tower on the top through the Irie. TLG currently 5.5k go ahead, and it doesn't look they're stopping anytime soon. Yeah, I was just looking at the stats of Irie, right? Because I was trying to see how long the stun was. You know, you can kind of go in, use Ryu, and the thing is, Ryu has such a short cooldown. I used to play Irie a lot, but you know, I didn't really take note of how short the cooldown was. At level 3 of her ultimate, she only has a 30-second cooldown, and that's a really short cooldown for such a good ulti like Ryu, right? I mean, you get 450 damage, and on top of it, you get 0.8% of the ability, or rather, you get 550 shield for every hero hit, and that it kind of makes it like a mini tank over there, and that damage 450, so you do get a lot of movement speed out of it as well. 100% movement speed, it decreases over 2.5%, but the key thing is that it increases her attack speed for 30% over the next 5 seconds. So it works well for passive, because what it does is that her passive, which is slash, kind of reduces her cooldown of spin for every single time she gets a hit. So if you kind of think about it, you know, you can kind of just go in, throw a spin, use shadow to just go in. You can use shadow 3 times as well. It's a 3 times trigger kind of thing. Although we might see OAG pick up H3Q. No, he doesn't. He doesn't even pick up the Violet. However, that roll is gonna save her life, and that is a very huge pickup. Irie getting up, and this is the shadow I'm talking about. Like, how are they gonna catch up to Irie? They have no one that can catch up in terms of pace. Just gonna throw the spin. Well, they will pick up the Abyssal Dragon. I mean, Darkslayer is up and all, but you know, they have to win one more team fight before either team can really go for the Darkslayer. Omni Arms getting picked up by Irie as well. I mean, she's pretty stacked considering that she's in top lane. She does use Ryu, gets a stun on 2-man, and here comes the rest of the team. Teamy, they're not even trying to go, they're trying to go for a double kill. And she might not be able to get away from that one. That's gonna be another kill in the bag for TLG, and now 7k goal lead.
A blue team tower has been
Unfortunately,
destroyed.
as an ultimate, they will be able to get out, but it looks like TLG wants to get the objective Irie as an ultimate, but really low in HP, gets trapped by Wild Prison. Meanwhile, we might see a little bit of trouble. Astrid's ulti just out of range. He will live to see another day, and now can they find a re-engagement? Battlefield is set. Looks like they might find the next engagement in the top half of the jungle, but it looks like TLG are not waiting. They are going to be starting up the Darkslayer. This is going to draw as falling into a really bad decision. They do get the Darkslayer as well. They can go for the engage. Krignut still split pushing the bottom, still trying to get something for the team. Astrid all by herself, but they actually do this. Try to go for the buff steal, and then Violet will pick it up. Irie now diving onto the back line. Where is the ultimate? Where is the Ryu? There it is. They pick up one. They might be able to find more. The spin gonna be knocking up someone, and they get the double kill onto the Tulan. Meanwhile, top lane getting pushed in.
Team tower has been destroyed.
They will release the Drake down the middle lane as well, while Prison's gonna be trapping up the teamy. Irie playing with fire right there, driving in so low, but that doesn't matter. Irie now onto the backline, they get one more kill. And they have the teammate's ultimate to actually keep up alive. Now, Quicknut tries to take down the Drake before he can do any more damage to the mid tower. I mean, left just a couple of hits, but surely but surely, PLG are knocking onto the doorsteps of game 1 right now. Astrid, the rest of TLG are starting to push down the bot lane. Want to get this one down, team. Getting removed, and without the bottom, they do not have a front line. 30 seconds before the bottom comes up. Meanwhile, top lane getting pushed up as well. They do manage to find the Violet. That is a huge pickup. But bot lane, they do manage to pick up one. They try to go for more. Astrid onto the back line right now, taking too much damage from the tower. And this is her time. Quicknut nearly gets it with the second skill. A couple of trades here and there. Will the team be able to get the stun up? No, he doesn't. Violet will go down just before Timmy can get to her. Irie is there. And Tulen is as well. And looks like they might just want to go for the kill. Irie ultimate on cooldown, just use Shadow in just in time to get out of range. TLG. They played a little bit greedy there. I mean, the Valor was kind of away from the rest of the team. She was kind of in the middle of the jungle, or in the middle of the lane, and the rest of the teammates were kind of pushing the bot lane and kind of gave RNG a kind of opening to try to pick it up. And now they will find the Violet one more time. One more hit will do the trick. More than willing to trade, but now he's right in the middle while Prison will trap it out. Meantime, it's a 3v1 situation for both ends. Tulen will pick up the first kill onto Irie, but Astrid's ultimate will tear them apart. They pick up one kill, and now they are onto bottom. That's 2 members down in quick succession on the side of QOS family. TLG will pick 3 more in the back. They do lose the Violet to a Quicknut gang as well as the Irie, but I'll pretty much say that is a decent trade. Managing to get the Sage buff, but here comes Violet, one more hit, and look at that range. Had to use the flicker for it as well, but using the flash does allow them to pick it up. While Prison kind of slow down the Dark Slayer tick, but it definitely is PLG's side, and now with the Dark Slayer buff, they might just want to go for the GG.
The great dragon has been summoned
to be fighting by your side.
Astrid gonna be pushing out the lane before they can do anything else, but now bottom right in the front line. Can he hold this one more time? Quicknut trying to dive in as well, but Irie goes in onto backline. They do manage to remove the bottom, and one more will go down one by one. They do get the Irie in the front line, but is that enough? Me to the back. Violet still dealing damage from afar, and the Drake still at half HP. Do they have enough burst? Violet coming into the side. The Drake still pulling damage onto the base, and that is one more hit. Should do the trick. TLG will pick away game 1. what a game that was coming from TLG. I mean, they managed to beat. I'm pretty shocked, right? When the results came out, I saw that they beat Flamingo 2-0. You know, they were champions of last season's Vietnamese qualifiers, and to beat the champions, ex-champions 2-0, and come into have such strong showing. I mean, no one can kind of deny them what they've done in this game. They were really straightforward, you know, get the Irie to the backline, get the Ryu down, and then try to get Violet to just pile on damage on whoever's in front. They don't really care, even if it's Baldum, they have it as well. And the Violet's just constantly trying to keep on range of Quick now. She did a splendid job, and I gotta say, man of the match has to go to Astrid right there. I mean, so much damage out. Irie contender as well, but either way, congratulations to TLG. They won't go game 1. We'll go for a short break, but when we are back, we'll bring you game 2 with TLG and QOS family. Alright, so it looks like we are finally into the second draft of the game.
Red team's turn.
It looks
to
like the
ban.
river swapping side as well. TLG currently 1-0 up. Remember, this is a best of 5. So first team to 3 games will be able to be declared as the grand champions as defeat down these qualifiers, and more importantly,
Turn to pick.
they will also be able to secure that slot into the FSL Elite that's happening on the 5th to 6th March held in Singapore. So that is the grand
Red
prize
team's
that
turn
everybody
to
wants.
pick.
Remember, we have almost double of last year's $2,500 prize pool. This year it's $4,000. First place gets $2,000. And on top of that, we also have prizes for the event and qualifiers. First place gets 250 SGD plus 3 gift card of 600 coupons, $13 each to 5 players, and they get a flight as well to the FSL Elite that's happening in March, as mentioned. So it looks like we're going to be seeing similar bans throughout. We do see Yera getting banned out. We do see, I think, Zip as well as Yena. Rarez gets banned out as well. And same goes for Kunzik.
Blue team's turn to pick.
And it looks like TLG will secure that Violet once again, a comfort pick, and why not? I mean, it's just so hard to deal with Violet.
Red team's turn to pick.
And the irritating part is that she can actually go, she has that role, and it's so hard to do with it because of that tactical fire. She can kind of just roll away. It's such a short cooldown as well. I mean, 5 seconds, and every normal hit that you hit at hero, you also get another 0.5 seconds reduced off the first skill, which is tactical fire. And it actually does really well. Like, she has to find, she can kind of use the ultimate from afar. And it does hurt a lot. I mean, 700 damage, a cooldown of 20 seconds. That's a really short cooldown for an ulti that does that amount of damage to begin with. So we are waiting to see what TLG will ban out, although it is Q as family's turn buff. And right now, I mean, they pick up a tool and a Hayate. I'm kind of questioning whether they have something to do, be able to catch on to Violet. Tulan does have a lot of damage, especially with the Thunderbird and the Iron Blast. The question is, who is able to reach the Violet? Even in the previous game, without the Rust and the Alistair there, they still managed to deal with it. They managed to get the Violet in safety most of the time. They use the Astrid as a front line, as well as the Ivy to kind of pound the stun. And boy, did that Astrid, I mean, that Dire Blow constantly just removing
Red team's turn
the front line.
to
I mean, even
ban.
the bottom couldn't tank too much because there was Violet and actually Astrid that was doing a lot of damage in front. They do pick up an Omen. I mean, Omen's fine, I guess. He does have Untouchable and Death Embrace as well, so he's going to be quite an issue to be dealt with in the top lane. That's most likely where we will see the Astrid. So, I mean, an Omen and Astrid pick up in the top lane, that's going to be quite an even lane in my opinion. Mostly the Omen would try to be harassing using Untouchable as well as Dash Breaker to actually just try to, you know, peel those HP off.
Blue team's turn to ban.
And the good part of Omen is that he has true damage as well, so that would just go
Red
to
team's
Astrid True,
turn to ban.
which is kind of the good thing, I would say. So we will see a Ras ban out, and Lena is a good choice. I think Alistair should be a better ban in my opinion, something that can really stop the Omen, because if they pick up the Alistair can actually just stop the Omen as well as the Tulan from kind of just going away. Omen obviously with the dive.
Blue team's turn to ban.
So I'm not sure about whether or not they do ban the Alistair, and like I said, you know, Alistair, they can kind of use his ultimate to actually just try to stop the Omen from using any of his skills, any sort of sustain, and that's going to be quite an issue to the Omen, especially for someone who's going to be they are most likely going to build a team around the Omen, because you know they need someone that's able to lock down the Astrid as well as the Teamy. I think Murat would be a decent pick now, coming up from the side of QS family, because the Murat can actually just try to go to the backline with Omen. You know, if Omen can stop the Teamy from getting to the backline, then the Teamy isn't able to really defend the Violet, and that would be a good, you know, time for the Murat to actually just try to dive in. So yeah, they are waiting for a little bit to kind of go with it. We do see a Rogue getting banned out, and that's a surprise as well. They don't want any more too many melee heroes that can kind of deal with the damage output of the Astrid. So yeah, I mean Zero is fine as well. If compared to Zero, he's very similar hero to Violet, or rather not Violet, sorry. Zero's very similar hero to Murat, and Zero also is able to have that burst onto the backline using the Wind Shift and Tornado to try to catch onto the Violet. But looks like they will set up for the Nutcraft, so split push will be the name of the game. But I don't know. I think this year would have been a good pick. So looks like they might want to go for the Irie and Crixie pick. But no, they will pick up the Liliana. So even with an Omen there, they decided to go for Liliana. I think that's pretty brave, although they do have decent amount of CCs to kind of stop the Omen. They do have that Irie with the Ryu as well as Teamy's hook. And yes, they will settle for the Alice. So that is going to be the draw for both sides. TLG going to be going with the Lena, Teamy, Astrid, Irie, and Violet. Whereas on the side of QS family, they will go for Hayate, Tulan, Alice, Nutcraft, and Omen.
Get ready. Minions will be deployed in 5 seconds. Prepare to engage.
So it looks like we're gonna be seeing that Ivy versus that Omen matchup. I like the fact that both heroes on the other both sides are pretty similar. I mean, if you consider, you know, if you look at the way the who really works, I mean, they do have a Hayate that works really similar to Ivy in my opinion. Something that can dive in the back line, do a little bit of damage, and has a little bit of a shadow step as well. Omen definitely more than happy to kind of do a trade there. Omen having the death embrace, tries to go a little bit aggressive. Looks like Origi decided to go for a gank, but not able to find the Astrid there, or rather not the Astrid, the Irie. Astrid coming in, doesn't have the level 4 yet, but he misses the stun as well, but that doesn't matter, they will get the first blood. That's gonna be the knockoff down. Spirit Sentinel, they can go for it. And Alice kind of hoping to get into the range of the Spirit Sentinel, maybe going for a sticky steal, but that's not gonna happen. TLG definitely pulling the dragon down, or rather the Spirit Sentinel down to the bottom half of the pit. And looks like we might see a mini invade coming up from TLG. They try to go for Siege Golem, they will secure it onto the Astrid, uses the dash out just in time. Meanwhile, Abyssal Dragon is up, but TLG, they have 4 heroes down bot lane, so they definitely can go for the contest. They split out the Alice, who's right there. And they want to get the pull onto the Abyssal Dragon, reset. And more importantly, oh, the Abyssal Dragon actually gets the stun on Tulan with the Thunderbird, but slightly out of range. And now we might see the Tulan go down. Mid lane though, now Grove rotating down to the mid lane. They want to have the fight here, but it's a 5v4. They get the stun onto the Omen. Nothing that he can do right there. Death Embrace being activated as well, but they are more than happy to get the fight. And the Fatal Blow nearly comes in. Butterfly out of range as well, and Omen will live to see another day. That rotation kind of allows Hayate to just split push down the bot lane, although there are not enough creeps, and Mini will back off now. I mean, these two teams going for back and forth.
Lightning strike!
Cute. Once again with the invade, TLG being very aggressive here. They want to go for the blue buff. So we might see a blow coming up. They do manage to pick up Tulan for the second time in a row. A little bit of a bad positioning coming up. And Violet having no more mana, they will have to back off right now. Hayate split pushing down onto the bot lane. Can they actually catch him out though? They've really lost his power. Meanwhile, Irie on the chase, gets the stun on. Is that enough? One more dash, but it's not. The Shuriken just gets out of range, and the spin will not pick him up. But meanwhile, Kito, and looks like TLG, although they are not, although they are up a hint in terms of network as well as Qs, but it looks like all these rotations are starting to cost them a little bit of those towers. Omen with the dash. Death Embrace as well. They're trying to bait this one out onto the Omen, and they might be able to do so. Yes, they will. Omen gets taken out. Good juking coming out from Irie. Only will get that one. Or rather get out alive from that. Nakrov. Wrong dash to the forward. Irie gets the stun and one more hit, but the heal will come through. Meanwhile, top lane, they are still caught up in the battle. Teamy with the ultimate as well to keep himself alive, and now Tulin will go down. Alice uses friendship, but too far away to keep the Tulin alive.
A red
Death's
team
Embrace
tower has
nearly
been
catching
destroyed.
out the Irie there, but she does dash out just in time. And look at it, I mean both sides are filled with heroes that are really mobile. Spear of Longevity picked up by Irie. Hayate, little does he know he's gonna get ganked. 4 heroes on the side of TLG. Away. And they will pick up the easy kill. Alice gets caught out as well in the bot lane. There might be enough. One more hit, one more roll. And yes, it is. They will get the last hit. Now Tulin comes to the rescue a little bit too late. But now Astrid with the ultimate swings him and blows him up. And that's going to be a 2-0 kill again for TLG. Running rampant in this game. Orange coming in to the bot lane. Tries to pick up the Violet as well. One more hit will do the trick. So finally, they will get their first kill of the game. QS family leading in terms of objectives, but lagging behind in terms of kills. Although they did manage to pick up their second Abyssal Dragon of the game, that's gonna even things up a little bit. TLG is still 3k ahead. Renji with the double bot, but Teamy in top lane though, they want to push up the top side. And they do manage to steal the Might Golem, which is a small win on the side. Now here comes Teamy, standing right in front. They do have the Astrid. He's diving the backline. They want to get the Astrid out of the way. One more hit should do the trick. Yes, they will be able to get it. One more. Omen now down to half HP. Tulin as well, but that doesn't matter. 3 kills on the bot. Nakrov comes in, but he doesn't want any of that. They're trying to stick on to Nakrov. Yes, they will be able to catch up to him, and that's going to be a 4-man wipeout. Meanwhile, Mini down in the mid lane, trying to do her best. Hayate all by her own, and look at this Astrid. She definitely wants the kill. They will walk away alive, but that is still a 4-man wipeout. And they are going to be starting onto the Dark Slayer. 7 more seconds before Nakrov comes up, and the only hero that can really reach that in time should be Orange, although not too sure if they actually want to contest it. They see Irie down the bot lane and they know it's a no contest. They will settle for it. They will have to push down the bottom side.
A red team tower has been destroyed.
The great dragon has been summoned.
Shall echo throughout the battlefield.
TLG are going to push the top lane right now. Irie down the bot lane to deal with the Nakrov split push. And they are feeling pretty confident about it. They know that Nakrov is there. they are slowly chipping away at their base tower. They will get it as well. Spurs, I mean, the Drake is still alive, but they don't need it. They wipe out 4 members, and this should be GG. They go in for the decisive push. They didn't even need the Irie. Astrid with that blow as well kind of finished the game. And Narkov TP's back home, but it's a little bit too late on the side of QOS family. TLG, they forced their way through. And that is insane. That dire blow, 4-man wipeout as well. And by the time Narkov got back, it was a little bit too late. The rest of teammates were dead. She could not do anything for teammates there. Look at that. I mean, who can blame? 10-0-5. That Astrid, what a player. She has been a perfect game for the Astrid and a perfect run for TLG so far. We'll go for a short break, but when we are back, we'll bring you what potentially could be the final game between TLG and QOS family. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are currently in game number 3. TLG currently 2-0 and up. And I mean, this is QO as they have to come back 3-0 if they want to win and be the champions of the Vietnamese qualifiers. And looks like they're going to be banning out that Teamy, something that's really pesky to with. I wouldn't say off meta, but you know, he's just something that you have to be really comfortable fighting against. We will ban out the Astrid as well. So 2 heroes which are really comfortable looking in TLG's roster. They immediately ban her out. I mean, we saw what a hero Astrid could be. That dire blow at the very last second managed to remove 3 members off, and they got a 4-man kill even underneath the tower. And the good part is she becomes immune to all damage for 2 seconds when she's using an ultimate during the swing. So that kind of allows her to just, you know, flicker in, you know, just try to use the dire blow. And they also had the Violet in the back line, just using those consecutive rounds as well as those tactical fire do. Just do so much damage.
Blue team's turn to pick. Red team's turn to pick.
So we're gonna see the Zeep getting picked up. That's gonna be interesting. This will be the, I think, the second time that we actually have seen. No, we have not seen QS family play Zip yet. Flamingos were the ones that were picked up Zip, so I'm sure the TLG are very comfortable fighting against Zip. They will pick up the quick knock
Blue team's turn to pick.
as well as the rest. Music is on the board, but will they go for it though? I mean, pick up 2 support, that is pretty decent. Yeah, I mean, if they do pick up the Zip as well, the Krizik, they can actually play a lot more aggressive. Try to get the Zip to stack up those waves, and then eventually just using the concealment for Krizik to actually just try to conceal someone, and then try to go for the fight. It's a form of initiation too. They have to Zip with Angry to kind of just, you know, swallow its opponent, or run swallow opponents, but swallow the monster allies as well to kind of just do that push.
Red team's turn to pick.
So now it looks like they will settle for the Hayate. I think someone, I think that it's really good. I mean, he does have the Kunai Blast as well as the Shuriken Toss, so that's gonna be his, you know, Shuriken Toss is his main source of farm. But the question is, does he have that damage needed? We saw in the previous game, even though he was, you know, trying to split push, trying to create some space for the Ghost to actually just try, the QS family to actually just try to bring the push down the bot lane. But time and time again, it was just so tough for them to even push. And that was in game 1. In game 2, we had something similar in that case where they actually wanted to get that split pushing wave going forward, but it was just so tough, you know. They always had the Irie down the bot lane, you know, counter pushing, stopping the push, making it really hard for the Knockoff to even create any some sort of any space whatsoever. And with the Knockoff not being able to split push, that's the bread and butter, right? You want the Knockoff to be able to clear the wave really quickly, you know, then quickly join the rest of the teams in the fight. And we saw in the last fight, while he was in the bot lane trying to push, the Irie went down. They didn't even have the Irie in the fight. The Irie was just counter pushing against the Knockoff, and the Astro just went in to clear the entire team. So now we're gonna have both the Astros as well, this Teamy taken out. They're gonna be focusing a lot on Hayate to be a more solid carry or split pusher, and they're gonna have Zip as well as Arthur to kind of provide that CC as well as utility in the fight. We most likely will see a Varus as well as Arthur up in the top lane.
Team's turn to ban.
So they're gonna ban out the Tulun as well. I think they kind of realized that QS family are really confident, or rather comfortable on that Tulun. We saw a couple of games, or rather the last 2 games, where they were really comfortable with having the Tulun front line, using the Thunderbird to actually snipe from afar, as well as the lightning bolts, but it just wasn't enough, the thunderclaps. So this time around, they will just take Tulun out of the hero pool. They will ban the Linana as well. 2 heroes which we know QS family are really comfortable with, and QS family in response gonna be banning out both the Rust and Valheim. So OG heroes getting banned out.
Blue team's turn to pick.
I'm really liking TLG's hero up here. They pick up the Krizik, and he can kind of actually just use the consumer onto the quick neck, and that's gonna be quite an issue, because even with the quick neck, usually when he's using the drone drop, you might be able to see him coming from afar. If he gets spotted out, you know, if you're in the brush, you see him coming, you might be able to get out of the way. But with the consumer, he's able to just, you know, he's like a silent assassin right now. With so much burst and drone drop, he just goes in with the consumer coming from the Krizik, goes in, drops in, use the Terrifying Plague and Horn Rush, and suddenly you are dead. So I think that is a really scary combo that I'm looking forward to. And they pick up Crixie now as well, decent clear wave, you know, has her ultimate, decent AoE control. I think Alistair is a pretty decent pick. Like, I think Alistair might be able to stop the quick neck, especially with the ultimate. But the question is, will they be able to spot the consumer? Because now it's not only the quick neck that they have to deal with, they also have to deal with the consumer coming for the Krizik. And this is why we always see Krizik getting banned out, because it's just a hero which isn't the easiest to deal with.
Red team's turn to pick.
So it looks like both Zephyrus and Ignis is going to be picked up. Oh, Tel Anna is getting picked up as well. So I'm not sure about the Tel Anna's. I mean, it's been a while since we've seen her getting played as well, but
10 seconds remaining.
that Ignis is pretty decent. You know, someone that has a lot of AoE damage, especially the Rain of Fire and the Holy Embers. So I will be looking forward to this game.
Welcome to Arena of Valor. Get ready. Minions will be deployed in 5 seconds. Prepare to engage.
blood!
Holy splendor!
A blue team tower has been destroyed!
I learned that from Italy.
A blue team tower has been destroyed! Ultimate! A blue team tower has been destroyed!
Scorching brand.
away from me. Ultimate. A blue team tower has been destroyed.
Cosmic power!
Onslaught. Double kill. A blue team tower has been destroyed.
The great dragon is summoned! Cosmic power!
A blue team tower has been destroyed. Bloodbath. Double kill.
Cosmic power!
Ultimate. A blue team tower has been destroyed. Onslaught. Ace.
And it was a lot of fun casting them as well. I mean, what a game this has been from TLG. They are your Vietnamese champions. It was such a tough game for the side of QOS family. You can see them trying to keep up with that pace, but you know, the Krigna was just constantly catching out the Ignis, making it so tough. Every single time they wanted to go for the fight, you see the Krigna there just constantly catching him out. And even in a couple of cases where it was just I mean, if you look at the score right now, it was just such a tough game for either of them. And even when it came down to the final few fights, you could see, the Quick Knock just silently waiting every time you may try to go in with the Holy Embers and Rain of Fire. The Quick Knock is always there to stop him. And then you have that, Tell Anas constantly pushing down the bottom line, not giving that Hayate any space to farm at all. And when it came down to that final fight, I mean, how decisive was that? Catching up 4 members, immediately blowing them out, managing to keep that Crixie alive, and even for Tawanas, even though she was about to go down, she was still there and well played to every single one of the players. I mean, that Trixie was, I mean, it was kind of like a team effort, but overall a flawless last game coming out from TLGs, and that's why they were able to beat Flamengos, who were the ex-champions of last year's Vietnamese qualifiers. And there we have it, your new Vietnamese champions and your first FSL elite participants who are going to be coming down to Singapore in March to participate in the AOE Grand Finals that's happening in Singapore itself. It's going to be none other TLG. Congratulations to them. For those who have stuck around to watch all our matches, thank you so much for sticking around. We had a little bit of a delay, but here we are, finally having the match done. With that being said, thank you to all viewers for sticking with us. Thank you for the participants as well. Remember, we still have one more FSL circuit that's happening in the later half of the year, so this is not your only chance to take part. Big shout out to all the girls, and a big shout out to our sponsors as well. Dreamcore, our PC sponsor, Super Solid Monitor sponsor, Yahoo, our media partner, and last but not least, Aftershock as our hardware sponsor. Without them, we will not be able to make this competition possible. Remember to follow us on our social media as well, on Facebook and Instagram. If you want to find out more news about FSL circuit and how it runs and where you can find out more news, that is where you can find us on. With that being said, thank you so much to every single one of them, every single one of y'all who stuck with us, and we'll see you next time round.